Hi, everyone. I'm Elaine Beck, and this is It's Not About Us. And as you know, we delight in the idea of having people that are fighting the good battle in the right way for the Lord on this show. So no matter what bad things are happening in the country, we look to the people that love God and put him first. And Charlie Kirk, you are one of those wonderful people.
Thank you. And you are too. God bless you for what you're doing. And this is so impressive what you've built here. And you've been so generous to us throughout the years. So God bless you.
Well, thank you. So I just watched you have an interview with someone else. So it brought up a few questions for me.
Let's do it.
Okay. So what is the biggest thing to you in your world as far as why are you doing what you're doing? Is it God? Is it country? Is it family? What is your focal point?
It's all about God first and foremost. And I always say the most important thing is to make sure is to make people believe in Jesus, is to bring people to Jesus. That's number one.
Right.
But the second most important thing is to make sure you can do the first thing. And so part of my work is really on number two to make sure number one can happen.
Right.
What do I mean by that? You can't share the gospel in North Korea. You can't share the gospel in China. So I want to live in a free society so that the gospel can be spread.
Right.
So God comes first, and therefore I fight for my country. I fight for our principles. I fight for a free society.
Yes, I love that. So, the big thing right now that I've seen is that the family deterioration.
Big time.
It is what I think is right below what we're talking about as far as, we can look at politics, we can look at all of the things that have come from this, but I believe that the family deterioration is what is causing all of the rest. What's your viewpoint on that?
I totally agree. And we see every day sad stories of people that do not have strong fathers around enter the prison system, that get, put in desolation. The 75%-ish, it depends on the number, 75% of all blacks in this country will grow up without a stable father around.
Right.
And that contributes to the cycle of violence and poverty and prison system. If you go to the prisons, almost more so than anything else they have in common, they do not have great relationships with their dads.
Right.
And this is the problem. As government gets bigger, why does the family need to exist anymore? They just go to government for their stuff. And the divorce rate has come up, and we are seeing the breakdown of American society through the family. And so it's a major problem. I'm not even sure what the solution is, to be honest. I think it's multifaceted. There has to be a biblical revival. There has to happen through the church, has to happen through public policy and some laws and customs as well. But if we are serious about saving the country, it must start with the American family.
So with that in mind, what would you share with the young men of this country? You deal with them all the time. You speak to the young people in such a great way through many other people as well as yourself. And so what advice would you give to the young men of this country that right now think that it's their privilege to date or to have a girl in their life and not be making any commitments? What advice?
Yeah, well,
would
first,
you give?
I'll say to young men, almost all of them are watching pornography, and they need to stop doing that. I know that's rather, blunt, but it's true, and the numbers show that. So stop doing that, because it dehumanizes the people around you, and it really crushes your own soul.
Right.
Number two, though, is that you need to date with the intent to marry,
Right.
and that you need to get married earlier, not later. And that you as a man need to push yourself to be the best version of yourself, to be a provider and a protector for your family. And that you are biblically commanded to do that. And that the scriptures are very clear that the man is to be in control of the household and is to lead the household. But that is a huge responsibility on us men. Mm-hmm. And so we must tell the men of this country, stop being boys and go on your Genesis 12 adventure as Abram did. Leave your father's home and carry that burden, engage that responsibility. And so for the men of this country, it is to do difficult things. And the most difficult thing one can do is to get married and to have children.
Right.
And yes, just to kind of debate without commitment, you're a coward and you're a boy. And I talk like this to men all the time.
Good.
Because they need it.
Yes,
and
they do.
They need men in their life to shake them up and to be blunt and direct with them. I talk to young ladies differently, and that's okay because God made male and female different and distinct, and that is a beautiful thing. But when we're talking to young men in particular, they must be challenged and they must be encouraged to pursue what their grandfather's generation did, which is to get married, stay loyally married to that person, have a big family, and provide for them.
You know, I had a great experience coming to your facility one time that you didn't know about. When I first walked in, I drove that 2.5 hours. The first place you're going to go to is the ladies' room for me. So I go in, and as I'm walking in, I hear that was me and another lady, and I hear this young girl saying, "Oh, look at her!" And we walked in, and there was another young girl in the restroom, and she's primping and everything, and she's like, "Oh, I love your outfit." And then we started talking about these kind of things, and I said, I love coming to Charlie's place because all the young ladies, the majority of the young ladies I know will be not only well-dressed, but will be completely dressed. Yes. And we started laughing and joking around and talking about how young women need to look young and dress young without looking dressed down all the time, which is what so many of them do nowadays. And I think that if we could get the young ladies to act more like young ladies, the young men would be hearing no a lot more, and they would have to go out and fight for what they want.
Yes, of course. And I get in trouble when I say this, but young women are obviously, many of them are deeply insecure, and that's okay.
Right.
And they think that in order to get a man, they have to be easy.
Right.
And they're wrong. In fact, it's the opposite. Men will then just view you as an object.
Right.
And if you want a man to desire you, say no.
Right.
Dress more modestly, right?
Exactly.
That is more attractive to a man, not the other way around.
Absolutely.
When you are more generous in your presentation, I'm being polite, men will look at you not as a future wife, maybe as like a temporary whatever, but I don't think young ladies understand that at all.
Right,
and they wonder why they can't find male partners. Well, maybe they should dress differently.
Or why a man doesn't want to make a commitment to you because they know that you've been around.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
And that's why you should save yourself for marriage, and you should not have sex before marriage, is because men think about sex all the time.
Right.
And young ladies, if you give that to a man, well, then why should he marry you?
Right. So learn how to say no, ladies.
Yes, that's exactly right.
So that these young men can do what's right because they really want to.
You should say that. You should speak at our events and say this.
Yes, I would love to.
I'll
speak at. I would love to speak at your event.
You're invited. You could speak at our women's summit.
I would love that.
2,500 young women need to hear this because when I say it, I get attacked.
Yeah, and then we went on to discuss how we need to find a designer willing to make the kind of clothes that young ladies would feel appropriate in this day and age. So I'm still looking for that young woman, Charlie.
Okay, well, my wife has a clothing line, so I'll send you some of the stuff. You'll love it. It's very modest, very Christian. It's wonderful stuff.
Right. Well, maybe we can get her to do some of even the dressier things and stuff for proms and stuff like that. I think that would be great. I had no idea she did that.
Yes, it's Proclaim streetwear. You'll love it.
I love it.
Yes.
That's great. Well, you answered one of my biggest questions. So the last thing that I want to talk to you about is what's it feel like? I know that you love being a father.
Love it.
Yeah. So are you guys going to continue to expand your family?
Well, we have 2 under 2.
Right.
So we're right in the thicket of it.
Yeah.
We're enjoying the moment.
You better.
We're on a pause.
Yeah, that's good.
You got to give us credit for 2 under 2, right?
Right.
That we get some extra points for that, but we'll see what God has in store.
Absolutely.
But the answer is definitely not no.
Yeah. Well, that's good because, one of the things that we're hearing now too, being that we're talking about young men and women and marriage and children, is that we're hearing that we're going to lose many more people, and we're going down in the numbers.
The population rate.
The population.
I know.
And we need to work on that. So I'm going to leave that up to you and Justice and all the other young people.
It's so funny. I say Turning Point is single-handedly reversing the population decline. We have employees that have 5 kids, 6 kids, 4 kids, 9 kids.
I love it.
It's beautiful,
it.
right?
It is.
I think the more children you have, the better, of course. But also, 3, 4, 5, you see the world. Even 2 or even 1, you see the world differently, and I think it's a beautiful thing, right? In a better way.
And to me, that's the reward for putting up with marriage, because marriage is not always easy.
Correct. Yeah.
And it is a challenge, and we have to go into it understanding that just like nobody's perfect, no marriage is going to be perfect, but it is worth every minute of it when you get that child and you get to raise it together and you get to share in the gifts that God gave you.
Amen.
And they're definitely a gift from God.
Oh, well, it says that in the scriptures. Children are a gift from the Lord.
That's right.
It says it in Proverbs.
That's right. Well, Proverbs, as you know, is my favorite book. We're named
Book of Wisdom.
Yeah, we're Proverbs Media Group.
I love it.
Our studio is, named after Proverbs as well. And we just love the idea that God gave us these little rules that are so magnificent.
I know. You could spend your whole life in the book of Proverbs.
Oh, I do. I love it. And I'm trying to share a lot more of that online.
Well, thank you
with the young people.
They need it. And I say, if you want to live a happier, deeper life, just read the book of Proverbs.
That's
alone.
right.
Just read Proverbs.
If you would live by those few words, you wouldn't be lost, and we'd all be happier. We'd all get along better. And so thank you for talking to me about the family.
You're the best, Elaine, of course.
Oh, thank you. And I absolutely love what we're able to do together in this world. All of us Christians, God has given us more power and more strength than we've ever had, because he knows when you're in a time such as this that we will need it. And I see on the horizon great revival. I see great turning of the tide. And it makes me joyful, and having you here was a special gift. I know that Justice,
he was great.
He's amazing, and I look at the two of you and I see a reflection of each other. So God bless you, and thank you for being here. I know you got to get going.
Everyone should support the Proverbs Media Group.
Yes,
and that's right. I have to go to a pro-life event with 2,500 people.
I love it.
We got to defend the unborn.
We always do.
I know you do.
God bless you.
God bless, Elaine.
Thank you. And to all of you out there, know that this is just one of many wonderful shows and many wonderful people. But know that I'm always praying for you, no matter who it is we're talking to or what's happening in the world. We pray for you, and we ask you to pray for us. God bless you.